lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You, and I thought to share where black people are actually coming together, having a heart-to-heart talk concerning the new administration and the tariff that is about to be imposed to not only one, two, three, but a number of guys. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together because some group of black people actually came together to, set record straight. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, wanna just share and leave a commentary, subscribe if you're yet, and let's dive into it.
Hey fam. So, I don't know if y'all have caught up on this yet, but Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and their administration, including people like Russell Vought, who is the director of the Office of Management and Budget, that's the budget-making arm of the executive branch, who had that same job in the first Trump administration. The collective plan, he's also a self-described Christian nationalist, but that's another post. Their plan is to make the 2017 Trump tax cuts that went overwhelmingly to the super rich and to big corporations, like 80% of the benefits went to the top 1%, the super rich, as well as big corporations. They're going to make that permanent. That is going to cost $4.7 trillion with a T. It's going to blow a giant, enormous hole in our deficit. In order to fund that, they're going to make you pay for it using tariffs. Donald Trump likes to pretend that he doesn't know that tariffs get paid for by the consumer, but he knows. And you know how we know he knows? Because he's using the tariffs as his scheme to pay for the tax cuts. And the reason he thinks that that will work is because he's clearly been told by people like Russell Vought that at the time America was great, during the late 19th century, the Gilded Age, when the super rich amassed enormous, massive fortunes, massive wealth, tax-free, that America was great, that it was prosperous. This was also the time when America was doing a lot of expansionism, going and grabbing other territories. Donald Trump digs this whole era. He thinks it's a good idea. And he's been convinced that he can have his massive tax cut, and all that has to be done to pay for it is, number one, slash the government. Cut the government down to the bones, down to its dry bones, by firing as many federal workers as possible and privatizing as many government functions as possible. Tommy Tuberville of Alabama and Senator Mike Lee of Utah have introduced a bill that would privatize the TSA, the agency created after 9/11 to secure our airports and make sure that planes aren't blown up by terrorists. They want to privatize that, turn that into a private profit-making function. They want to do that with most of government. They'd love to privatize the Postal Service. They'd love to privatize everything that this federal government does. They're cutting things like U.S. aid, foreign aid, all these functions of government, slashing them, and a lot of those functions benefit the American people. They don't care. They're cutting Medicaid. They've got a $800 billion cut in Medicaid in mind. All of this to try to drive up as much money as possible, selling off parts of our national parks, allowing development in national parks, selling off hundreds of federally owned buildings, including iconic landmark buildings owned by the federal government and run by the Park Service. They want to sell those off, like the Montgomery bus building, where the Montgomery bus boycott was to start selling all that off to try to raise enough money to justify this $4.7 trillion tax cut that's going to blow a hole in our deficit. And the way they think they will get the rest of the money for that, make you pay for it through tariffs, because they know tariffs are paid for by you. It's a giant shift in who pays for the federal government, from the super rich, because they're going to pay less and less and less because they're going to cut their taxes, down to working class regular people paying the bills using tariffs, meaning you pay more for everything you buy. You pay a giant tariff tax on food, on gas, on buying cars, electronics, buying clothes, all these things that you're going to pay the tariffs on. That's how they think they're going to fund the government now instead of income taxes. Because the Gilded Age was a time before there were income taxes. Those didn't come in until 1913. Before there were labor laws, including child labor laws. You see Florida already looking to bring back child labor. You see, it was a time before women had the right to vote, before blacks had full civil rights, before there was the codification of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments through the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act of 65 and 64. It was a dog-eat-dog world, and they wanted that. It was a time before disability laws, you name it. Those things didn't exist. Workers were pretty much at the mercy of their employers back then. They want that world back. And they're giving it back, little by little. And you're going to pay for it. Don't believe me? Listen to Russell Vogt, admitting that this is the plan. And did that during the Madison Square Garden rally prior to the election. Take a listen.
We all say it as a slogan. When was America great? At the turn of the century, our economy was rocking. This is 1900, 125 years ago. We had no income tax. And all we had was tariffs. All we had was tariffs. And we had so much money that we had the greatest businessmen of America get together to try to figure out how to spend it. That's who we were then.
So you got it? We're making America great again. And you're paying the bill. Is that what you voted for? Because that's what you got. Elections have consequences. Really nasty, mega consequences. Good luck out there. Be well. Peace.
Hello, I'm Chef Bougetto, and I love talking about food and some other shit. Privatization. Let's talk about it, because it looks like that's what America is going to be. Board of Education, TSA workers, school lunches, everything will be done so they can get richer. We privatize the schools. People that have money already, their kids receive the better education. The poor, they get the crumbs. And the reason? Because they need to fill the prisons. Oh yeah, I forgot. Some states are reenacting child labor laws. And I just saw a video today talking about how many new prisons are being built. And they need to be filled. Many of them are for juveniles. And I just read today, parents in a lot of states are no longer required to pay for the juveniles. But the juveniles will have to pay. So I guess they're going to have to work that shit off. We need to make sure our children are educated, because this is the plan. All the layoffs, people will get their jobs back, but not what they were making. And they know you're going to take it. It's called desperation. That's probably the plan for most departments. And you know the labor laws that they're pretty much getting rid of? You do what they say, or you don't have a job. SNAP benefits, remember those blue boxes he was talking about? Some of his buddies that get rich off of that. Everything got a plan for them to get richer. And since our food supply gonna be low and expensive, some people will do just about anything. So yeah, so I suggest y'all stop spending, not just on April 5th or some day somebody picked. We have the power, so stop spending. Buy only the necessities, because eventually the lobbyists that are always lobbying for what they want, they'll start speaking up for us, because they're not about to lose their money. Does anyone have a better plan than stop spending their money? If you do, speak up.
We have to protect our black farmers, and more of us need to become farmers, as prices of food will continue to rise. We already have food deserts and food insecurities to contend with in our black community, so it's time to stay focused and get involved. Black farmers have played a critical role in the agricultural development of the United States, contributing significantly to the economy, culture, and the agricultural industry. George Washington Carver, a renowned agricultural scientist and inventor, is credited with creating several innovations in farming tools and practices. While he did not invent the plow itself, Carver's work in improving agricultural practices helped to optimize the use of plows for crop rotation and soil conservation. John Lee Love invented the portable pencil sharpener, but he also developed the mechanical cotton picker, which greatly improved cotton harvesting efficiency. His invention helped replace the labor-intensive process of picking cotton by hand and changed the agricultural industry. Then, in 1887, Joseph E. Lee patented a device that made planting crops easier. A seed sower allowed farmers to plant seeds evenly and efficiently, saving time and labor during planting seasons. This innovation helped increase productivity in farming. John Standard. Then you got John Standard, another black inventor, improved upon the design of the lawnmower in 1899. His patent included a mechanism for the mower's lubrication system, making it more efficient and effective in cutting grass. This innovation contributed to farming as well as landscaping practices. Then we have Henry Blair. Henry Blair was one of the first black Americans to receive a U.S. patent, which he received in 1834. His innovative potato planter, the device was designed to plant seeds more efficiently, significantly improving potato farming by increasing planting seed and accuracy. Henry Blair also patented a corn planter in 36, which allowed farmers to plant corn more efficiently and in uniform rows. This invention reduced labor and time spent planting crops, contributing to the improved agricultural productivity. Joseph G.P. Johnson invented an improved hay rake in the 19th century. The device was designed to make the collection of hay more efficient, reducing labor and time involved in gathering hay after it had been cut. Richard Allen, another black inventor, developed an irrigation system that was designed to conserve water and help farmers manage water resources more efficiently. This system is especially important in regions where water scarcity is an issue. Though not strictly an agricultural invention, Lewis Latimer, another black inventor, developed improvements to the design of the home heating furnace that also had applications in farming for creating more efficient systems for heating greenhouses and farming equipment. But despite the important historical role of black farmers, they continue to face systemic racism in modern-day farming, like discriminatory lending practices. One of the most significant challenges for black farmers is access to loans. The USDA's long history of discriminatory practices, including denying loans and assistance to black farmers or offering them less favorable terms, has led to many farmers losing their land. Even today, black farmers face difficulties securing loans from banks and financial institutions due to both racial bias and systemic inequalities. Many black farmers have been unable to keep their land or pass it down through the generations. This issue of land loss has been exacerbated by inheritance problems, where family land is divided and sold off, leaving descendants without access to the land that their ancestors worked and died for. Because there are people not given the right information or resources to keep their land in the first place. Black farmers have often been excluded from USDA programs designed to support farmers and ranchers. There have been instances of racial discrimination where black farmers did not receive equal treatment or support in securing disaster relief, subsidies, or other forms of government aid that white farmers received with no problem. This discrimination persists, and many black farmers still experience unequal treatment in accessing government services that are supposed to be available to them. Black farmers continue to face limited access to resources such as technical assistance, agricultural training programs, and support networks. This makes it more difficult for them to innovate and expand their businesses and compete in the modern agricultural market. In some cases, black farmers also face environmental injustices that disproportionately affect their ability to grow crops and maintain their land. These issues include poor soil quality, contamination from nearby industrial pollution, and limited access to clean water, which often affects the black communities more severely. But it doesn't stop there. In rural communities, black farmers have reported instances of harassment by neighbors, particularly when opposing large-scale agriculture operations like factory farms. Black farmers have engaged in legal actions to combat discriminatory practices within agriculture policies. Despite long-standing advocacy, compensation for past racial discrimination against black farmers has been limited. The USDA announced a $2 billion relief program for black and minority farmers, aiming to address historical wrongs. However, leaders like John Boyd Jr., president of the National Black Farmers Association, criticized the payments as insufficient, stating, "It's like putting a bandage on somebody that needs open heart surgery." Boyd continues to pursue further legal action for more comprehensive debt relief to pay back all the wrongs done to black farmers. The number of self-identified black farmers in the U.S. has declined over the last century, in part due to overt discrimination by the USDA. While recent reports suggest a rise of over 45,000 black farmers, experts question the accuracy of these figures, suggesting that they may be inflated due to the census mythology. This discrepancy highlights ongoing challenges in accurately representing and addressing the needs of black farmers. These reports underscore the persistent issues of harassment, discrimination, and systemic inequities faced by black farmers in the U.S. Addressing these challenges requires comprehensive policy reforms, accurate data collection, and sustained efforts to ensure fair treatment and support of black agricultural communities. So let's recap. Black farmers have made immeasurable contributions to U.S. agriculture, but they continue to face challenges due to systemic racism and historical inequalities. However, their resilience and the work of numerous organizations dedicated to supporting them are helping to ensure that black farmers have access to the resources and advocacy they need. By addressing the issues of land loss, discriminatory lending, and unequal access to government programs. But more of us need to get in the fight to not only protect our black farmers, but also to make sure that their produce is where we spend our black dollars for meat, fresh fruit, and vegetables. Circulating our black dollars is crucial to our black liberation. There's nothing we can't accomplish together, and they know it. Now, we need all of our people to know it and act accordingly. Share this video with as many of us as humanly possible to make sure that we're getting the right information out to our people. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman. Knowledge is power. Power to the people.
I seriously love this. I totally agree from the sisters. Like, this is actually a situation whereby, let me use this phrase of be your brother's keeper. Like, these people, these guys, if they bring a strategy, and I know and I believe that black people already have their own strategy. Okay, let me talk in a reference of the sister that talked about supporting black farmers. Like, most definitely, if you don't support your own, who else are you going to support? You know, these people has actually seen that what they thought or how they thought that the outcome of this election would be is not what they are getting right now. And it's so frustrating. And it's so damn frustrating to them that they are getting so worked up, agitated, and trying every means possible for people that lose like me to come out and protest. But the weakness with all of things that is going on is the fact that black people are standing on business. But they don't know that these people standing on business does not mean that they are going to fold their arms and watch. Black people always have and have always been there for each other and have always succeeded. Black power matters. Like, this is the time for, you know, everyone to just come together and support each and everyone. There's this Black Project 2025, which I have talked about here countless times. But it happens that the lady who initially, introduced this Black Project 2025, she's been having some setback because some group of people decided to make up some stories that she has been using the fund that was supposed to be generated, which was not even something huge. I think it's about $2,000. I stitched the video here, which people were like, "Oh my god, how did they expect her to run all of this? Why would they say something like that?" I think it's all of the things actually need a collective, or will I even call it a collective support, you know, anywhere, anytime. I personally actually wish that this Black Project 2025 was something that was supposed to, yield fruit. I'm still not giving up. I believe that something very positive will still come out. But there is something about anytime people that looks like me want to do something. Somehow, somewhere, something might just want to, you know, break it or try to spoil it or something. And this is exactly what people that looks like me wouldn't want to be an avenue not to keep pushing. Like seriously, I felt so bad when I heard about the project, the Black Project 2025, and the way at which she was backing out. Because the first time when this was a thing, that was about after the election, and she introduced it. People were so excited. I even have to share the link. People were signing up. So many people. Like it was actually the plan she had is going to give room for black people entire, like black people all over the world, not only in the US, you know, not only, but black people all over the world. The ideas, the plan. I was following her to know what, you know. It also gives room to create opportunities. She was actually looking for website developers and all of that. Like there was a lot, but I think what happened is that she was not getting the enough support that she actually wanted. She's 21 years old, and it was a lot for her. And with all of the rumor going up and down, she became so discouraged. And to tell you the truth, I was really, really disappointed. But I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful. Even if people that looks like me are not marching, are not protesting, I know deep inside that they are doing something better. They're protesting, but they are not physically doing it. And which is actually the best. And which is why these people cannot cannot sleep properly, because people who they thought that was gonna come out there, go out to the public and or go out to the streets are not the people that they are saying. I've seen some stitches of videos from people that looks like me talking about how, oh, this is not nice for them not to go out on the 5th of April. That's today, on Saturday, right? That is not nice. I think some people are beginning to like, but I still believe and I still hope that everyone is going to be fine. Anyway, lovely, so now just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. Support any form of bullying and harassment. We just here for educational and informative purposes. If you've not subscribed, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.